It's been a really long year and a half, and we all know that. We've had some ups and some downs, but tonight we are here to celebrate one of the highest ups we could probably be on. Our children have experienced so much, and we have a child here tonight that took advantage of every moment that she could during this learning time and overcame so many obstacles to really come out on top. She has really taken advantage of learning in a time when we thought kids were really going to be challenged, and they were. But we have a child tonight that said, you know what, I'm not going to let this craziness that happened in this world defeat me. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to grasp everything that I can, and you're going to see tonight what she did. We are so proud of Zethurah Gillespie tonight, and you're going to see what she did with Rae Chesny, an icon in the world, who has led children on a new journey, and we are so excited. So I'm going to start with a clip from Fox 2 News to show what she has done in this world around us to help children have hope and go ahead and chase their dreams.
Welcome back. We continue to highlight local African-American women who are doing incredible things in the literary world here in Detroit and beyond. I sat down with author Rae Chesny, who is working to help children of color find their voice.
Experts say you should read your child 1,000 books before kindergarten.
Well, if I only see myself or someone who may look like me in 14% of those books, then that's telling me I don't exist.
Detroit native Rae Chesny has made it her life's work to change that for generations to come.
For Black and brown children, we see a disparity in how much literacy and illiteracy affects those communities. And so when we look at that disparity and using representation to get these children excited about reading, it's not just about the reading and the writing, it's about how they feel about themselves.
The author and Johns Hopkins literacy consultant started out in corporate America, but soon realized she wasn't doing what she was meant to. So Rae quit her job to find her true purpose. She discovered a story she had written in the 5th grade, and then wrote another called Nico and the Trouble Bubble. She had them published, and the rest was history. Rae then began traveling around Metro Detroit, reading stories to children.
Going into the schools, going into the daycares, and having a chance to interact with children, reading them these stories, and seeing their reactions, seeing a character that looked like them, it just blew my mind.
It was at one of those schools where she was challenged by a young boy.
He looked me squarely in the eyes and he said, "You didn't write that book." And he told me you couldn't have written that book because all authors are old white men with glasses.
That encounter opened her eyes to another issue.
I realized it was not just a matter of the people who were in the book looking like the readers, it was also a matter of the people writing the books looking like the kids who were reading them.
So she started a program called Literacy Come to Life in 2015.
We showed the kids stories written by me. Here are kids who look like you, but then we also gave them a chance to create stories. And what that did was it created an opportunity for these children who may not love reading to become peer mentors. They're writing stories, we're turning them into books, we're taking them around the world and saying, someone your age who looks like you wrote this book. And you see this spontaneous combustion happen.
Since the pandemic, Rae has had to push the pause button on those classroom visits and has been focusing on virtual mentoring, coaching a 6-year-old girl named Zethurah Gillespie. They have been working together since last year to turn her ideas into a book.
It is just an amazing experience to watch her bloom and find her voice and find her power. And she has influenced her family in a positive way. Seeing the excitement on their faces, she put her sisters and her parents in the book, and so it's something that they'll have forever.
Zethurah's book, Princess Lillian, Protector of Nova, will be out on May 1st. Rae says she takes pride in using storytelling to amplify the stories of women and children of color, past, present, and future. She wants to empower others to have the opportunity to do the same, so she created the Junior Storyteller Workbook for kids and the Authoress Workbook for women. The Junior Storyteller Workbook for kids is available right now on Amazon and on her website, raechesny.com. The Authoress Workbook will be out soon.
Boy, Rae is just a remarkable woman and a remarkable soul, and the effect she has on children, it's just like none I've ever seen before. You can find out much more about her on our website, fox2detroit.com. We're going to put a link to her website. She's on Facebook, and you can order her books for your children, and there are a few you might like on there too.
So before I bring Rae up in just a minute to talk just a little bit more about her journey and her passion, I do want to show you the reveal when she actually went to share the excitement that the book was officially going to be published, because it is exciting. And then after that, we will be bringing the guest of honor up. So I do want to share this with you because this was the exciting moment.
Hey guys, it's Rae here. I'm so excited because I have spent the pandemic writing a book with a brilliant little 6-year-old named Zethurah, and we've been doing it all virtually. But I'm here at her house right now to surprise her with the very first copy of her brand new book and to actually meet her for the first time. So you guys get to come along while we meet Zethurah and present her with her book.
She just know you're coming to visit because you're in town. It's like the whole, oh my God, look at the back. It has your bio. Wait, let's look at this.
Wow.
Wait, look. Remember that? The war? Look.
Wow.
What's that?
It's me and Jan and Bob.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. I just can't believe it. Wow.
That's Mommy.
And you wrote all this. That's amazing.
Wow. Oh my God, I can't believe it's like in person.
I like how they break down each character and names at the beginning. Wow. Who was that?
That's me.
All right, so thank you guys for having me this evening, and thank you, Mrs. Hubbard, for that beautiful introduction. I'm very excited to be here because, like Mrs. Hubbard said, we are at an unprecedented stage in our world. It looks different than what it looked like when I was a child, and probably different than what it looked like when many of you were children. I have been on a journey to really do something with my life amazing. And that's to show children that where they are and who they are now is powerful. So I actually started in corporate America, but at 23, I decided to leave that job. And I said, you know, I want to find out who I am in this world. And what I found at the center of it was my love of storytelling. And so just like you saw on the news clip, it didn't take long for the kids to kind of check me. I did my first reading, went into a classroom, and the little boy in fourth grade said, you didn't write that book because all authors are old white male with glasses. And I wasn't offended, I was amazed because he was presenting me with a challenge. He said, that's nice, you write books, cool, but what else do you do? And I thought that was it for me. I was like, well, I wrote the book, I got it published, I'm done. But I wanted to show him that he had the power, because what I heard in his statement was not a question of my ability, but a question of his own. Could he ever in this world write a book with the color of skin that he had? And so I created the Junior Storyteller Program in 2017, but I started doing programming in 2015 when I saw how children responded to me. And all along, my key metric was engagement. I wanted to make sure that the children were engaged. So what that looked like is in summer camp and after school, even class visits. If I had a plan, if I had a curriculum, if I had something I wanted to do that day, and I looked and those kiddos were nodding off or they weren't focused, I scrapped it. And I said, well, let me figure out how to get them interested. It's the same with the Junior Storyteller Program. A lot of times we look at what we want the children to do. We want them to read, we want them to write, but that's not so meaningful for them. If they don't like it, if it's not entertaining, if it's not engaging, what happens? They start to drift off. They start to think about playing video games. They start to look at other things to occupy their time. Well, with Junior Storyteller Program, it's a very flexible process. I took my creative process for writing stories and I started to teach it to children. We started with 3rd through 6th grade, and something happened. The pandemic happened. I had my perfect model. I knew exactly what I wanted the program to look like. It was working. I had worked with over 5,000 children around the world, and then I could no longer do that in person. And so I got really lucky, guys, because I got an email one day from a mother who said, I have this brilliant 6-year-old little girl named Zethurah Gillespie, and she's been writing this book over summer. And I was thinking to myself, I really miss working with kids. I miss being able to be in a classroom. I miss being able to go to summer camp. And so she said, I don't know if she's too young, but if you will work with her, please email me back. And I emailed her right away. Now, 6th grader isn't quite the same as, or 6-year-old is not quite the same as a 3rd grader or even a 6th grader. And I was like, let's give it a try. Let's see if I can really teach a 6-year-old how to write a book. And so we hopped on Zoom, and Mrs. Gillespie could probably tell you right away, I looked at Zethurah, and she looked at me, and she said, I want to write a chapter book. Now, typically, the books that I write with children are 24 pages, but she was, I want to write a chapter book. And Mrs. Gillespie said, well, I don't know if Mrs. Rae will write a chapter book with you. But I said, who am I to tell her no? Who am I to tell her not to dream big, not to believe that she can write a chapter book? And in 6 sessions, over 6 months, we wrote Zethurah's book. Now, what does that mean for other kids? Well, Zethurah didn't just write a book that other children get to read. She got to challenge me even more. Mrs. Rae, you wrote your Junior Storyteller workbook for 3rd grade and up. What about the 6th graders? Well, after I got finished working with Zethurah and her book was all done, I decided to start doing levels. Of course, in Michigan, we have the 3rd grade reading laws, but we know at a big rate, a lot of our children are still falling behind. So I said, instead of starting in 3rd grade, let's really see if we can start in kindergarten and 1st grade. Let's take the same idea of how to create these stories for children and make it simplified for a kindergartner and a 1st grader. And let's take them through a process where they get to matriculate. So they're going from level 1 through 5, learning different vocabulary, learning different skills, learning what it means to be an author, learning learning what it looks like to illustrate a book. And I'm so excited about this because at the core of it is making sure that it's representative of multicultural children. A lot of our books, a lot of our textbooks, a lot of our materials don't have characters that are brown and black. And so the Junior Storyteller Workbook has that. And being able to show, even on the front cover, this little boy right here is my 4-year-old son. And when he saw this workbook, right away he went, Mom, that's me. But seeing his reaction and knowing that he can be on a book, he can write a book, Zethurah can write a book. As soon as he saw Princess Lillian, Protector of Nova, I didn't even tell Zethurah this, but my son wanted to read her book. And he said, okay, Mom, now let's write my book. And that is the power of the program. It's important that our children get to showcase their skills, their voices, their thoughts. Mrs. Rae never says, oh no, that doesn't work. I say, that's a cool idea, let's figure out how to fit it in there. And even with Zethurah, she's already told me, this is a series, Mrs. Rae. We have a lot of books to write. And I'm so excited, not just for her, but the impact that she's having on her community and other children, charging me to do more, charging me to figure out how to make this fit, even when we worry about things like summer learning loss, the summer slide, now we have COVID learning loss, but it's all fun and engaging, and it gives them an opportunity to not worry about getting it perfect, getting it right, but using their imagination to create something they can hold in their hands and use to inspire others. Thank you.
I would like to invite our guest of honor, Ms. Zethurah Gillespie, up to the stage. Please, if you could make your way up. So, first of all, today we had a very exciting experience at Addams, did we not? So Zethurah was surprised today when Miss Rae showed up at school. She did not know she was arriving today with her mom, and Zethurah did what? Can we talk in a really loud voice with that mask? What did you get to do today?
We got to color and talk about my book.
And you did your first reading
Yes, my first reading.
outside under the tree with Miss Rae, correct?
Yes.
So Zethurah got to read for the first time her book to her classmates outside officially, right?
Yes.
And then we got to color some of the what?
Picture
From
book.
your official book with her classmates, right?
Yes.
So we had a big day at school, and now what we're going to do is Zethurah, what did you do inside your book?
I created pictures and
She officially autographed. She has a great autograph already. Zethurah's autograph is for each of you an official copy of her book that she's going to present to the board. So you're going to go around, and we'll walk the cubes and some things here. And I'm going to have.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
This ball. There you go.
next week, and Zethurah doesn't even know this yet, Michelle Mack, our media tech for the elementary schools, will be taking Zethurah down to our library and will officially be putting 3 copies in circulation in the Addams library so that students at Addams Elementary can check out her book. So she will be officially in circulation in the Addams library. This is from me to Zethurah to congratulate. And I told her when she's famous someday, she cannot forget her elementary principal, right? And then if you, Miss Rae, can you come up really quickly, please? This is just to say thank you for, again, keeping hope alive with all of our children and making sure that our children just continue to grow. Everything that you have done for her is going to continue to inspire children. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.